Hello everybody. Just wanted to kind of show everybody my electric build. Just completed it, and it's ready to take its inaugural brew, which I'm planning on doing here pretty soon, my next day off from work. Just kind of wanted to go over the system, show it off a little bit, see what you guys think about it. I did everything myself. I built it from scratch. Purchasing the kettles, they're 20-gallon kettles. They're Concord pots, which are really inexpensive. They're like $100 a piece. You can find them on Amazon and stuff. So everything that I've got, I purchased separately. Like my couplings, everything was all purchased as a piece. I think that's part of the reason why I took on this project, is I love building things. So and I love beer too. So been brewing for a while. Not so much lately. I kind of reserved myself to completing this project before I started brewing again. So yeah, this is it. Took me almost a year to build it completely, so that's been a year without brewing beer. But I have been doing ciders in the meantime. So all the parts that I did get, I did find fairly inexpensive as opposed to buying them from one location. I used several different websites to purchase everything. So what I'll do is I'll kind of go over each of the pots with you, show you on a different mode, so that way you're not looking at my ugly face. This here is my boil kettle. If you take a look here, I built my sight glasses from just a simple 1/2-inch compression fitting. Use some rubber O-rings to seal them with the I believe it's polycarbonate tubing that you can get fairly inexpensive. So these sight glasses were, I think I paid in total maybe about $16 to build. The valves I bought on Amazon. I believe I purchased 10 of them, and I believe I paid like $7 per valve. All the couplings I did get from different sources. If you take a look at the welding jobs, I'm not the greatest soldering guy. This is all silver soldered, and I kind of learned that off of the internet. I did dimple, and if you can see, there are some stress cracks in there, but trust me, they are watertight. I have done a boil test throughout this system, so I know it works really well. This right here is my mash tun. Again, sight glass. I did find some brewmometer type thermometers online on Amazon, and these actually were only $19, so kind of a nice little thing to have in there. Now I do know I did kind of mess up. I think I should have set that at about 5 gallons, and right now it's set at about 2. But I do have a PID on this, so should be fine. Here's my PID controller. That's another mistake I made. I bought a fixed PID control. I'm sorry, thermal RTD type sensor, which I wanted to get the type that have the quick disconnects here, and with a shorter well. These are 2-inch wells, so extend into the coupler. The ones I want to get will come on top here, so that I have an inline run for my liquid, which I think will be better. So those are going to be my next purchase, but these do function well. And this is my Herms coil return. I purchased a sight glass and did triclover fittings back to them, just so I can see the wort, or the the liquid as it's recirculating. check out the clarity. I kind of did that in I saw the late great Paul Wicksteed had something similar to this on his rim system, so I kind of wanted to incorporate that into this system. So it kind of goes in there. My false bottom is not the greatest, but it works until I get something a little better. This will work until I do find something better, so what can I say? This here is my Herms tank, my HLT. The one mistake I'm going to say I did on this right here was the coil that I purchased from Stainless Brewing. I should have had them do the bends for me. Being the guy that I am and liking to do everything myself, I felt I could do it. But as you can see, I didn't do that great of a job, so but it works. There's my recirculating return. Got an L in there, so it creates a whirlpool on the inside. Don't have a pickup tube on this. Not sure I'm gonna need one. My elements, I did build these myself as well. Sorry about the noise, guys. These were purchased from Brew Hardware. Bobby from New Jersey. These are the all stainless elements, the 5500 watts. And again, the canisters I built myself. They are actually salt and pepper shakers that are stainless. And what I did was silver soldered a triclover fitting. And these are the only triclover fittings I have were the connections for my elements on both my HLT and my boil kettle. Everything else is all silver soldered in with couplings. Now on to my counterflow chiller. This I built in the same similar to the late great Paul Wicksteed's inline counterflow chiller as well. This is all copper, however. I use 3/4 copper on, and then on the interior I have 1/2 inch copper running through. Ran a test on this thing. It works really great. It was a little bit more expensive than I thought to build this way, but it was well worth it. Still not finished painting it. If you take a look, I did paint it the hammered black finish, which when I get to my control panel you'll see is the same color. So I didn't waste any money. That was just leftover paint from there. The parts list on this, it wound up being 2 sticks of 3/4 copper at 10-foot sections, and 2 1/2 inch 10-foot sections, and then some various fittings to make the ends all meet up. If anybody's interested in building this, they can message me. I'll send them my dimensions for this. It is overall, I believe, 26 inches long from tip to tip. So if you're interested in the dimensions, I'd be glad to send them to you. Now on to my control panel. Now this was the first part of the project that I started work on, and this probably took me the longest to finish as well. This is built as a Cal clone, and I got my inspiration for building this whole system from Tony Yates, who probably has the best set of electric brewing instructions for using and brewing and so forth. So, you know, thank you, Tony, for everything you've done. And I'm really, you really inspired me to build this. Watching your videos. took me a while and some messing around to kind of get this thing done, but I have ran it. It has been put into use and it runs fine. I am going to consider getting a single heat sink to put across the tops, but in the meantime it works just fine. Yeah. The next bit I'm going to show you is my chugger pumps. Believe it or not, these are both chugger pumps. This one happens to be much older than this one. This was the first pump I purchased, and it was a few years ago that I purchased. And yeah, the valve, the body on this is actually green, which I don't know if was a mistake on their part or whatnot, or as their popularity grew they changed their color. But yeah, and the next thing I'll show is my GFI connection, which is a 50 amp spa panel. It does have a 4-prong connection in there. However, I've read on Homebrew Talk, since I am in an apartment and only have access to a 3-prong, it goes to a 3-prong. I did look at some websites on some feedback on some websites, various websites, and they do seem to feel like it works. And again, I've hooked it up and had no issues with it. 4-prong there, and my source being 3-prong, it ran fine. Hopefully it's not going to be an issue, but if it does, I do have a reset button I can set to turn it off if there's any issues. So yeah, there's my system. Again, I'm going to brew here pretty soon on my first brew. I'm going to do a basic pail, then hopefully I can convince Nate to possibly give me his recipe for the Dropkick Nate, which I hopefully can get and brew. Don't want to spend a whole lot of money on my first brew, as I know it'll probably turn out not so well. But yeah, there's my system, and not sure if I'll be posting quite a bit, but I will do periodic updates. My brew channel is Monster Guppy Brewing, which Monster Guppy comes from my call sign for kayak fishing, my kayak fishing club. I do enjoy kayak fishing. I live here on the Monterey Bay in California, so enjoy fishing, brewing beer, and look forward to watching all your videos, and hopefully you guys enjoy this, and comments and such are appreciated. Thank you.